Pastor Paul, when Pastor Paul was not preaching on TV, he said he saw a man preaching on DSTV. He said he sat down for 40 minutes. He was waiting. He had a pen. He wanted to take note. He said he couldn't understand what the man was saying. He said, but this man is on TV. I don't know what he's saying. I can do more than this man. But the man is on DSTV. You can have the English. You're not on DSTV. Guess what? That man, even if you say rubbish, some people put him on DSTV. I don't know what I'm talking to someone. The value of relationship. And I said there are 5 different levels of relationship because of time. The first is you and God alone. I'm not preaching that. I preached that last Sunday. You and God alone. The most important person in your life is God. I'm going to say it again. Are you hearing me? The most important person in your life is God. Because I'm human being. People will literally walk out of your life. In fact, they will tell you, they will create something you didn't do to say it, to appease their action. I met somebody within the week. He said, me, I offend him. I said, me, Pastor Ban, offend you. That's why he's not coming to church. Me, I offend you. I said, let's just, me. I said, you don't know Pastor Ban. It's not Pastor Ban that you're talking about. Pastor Ban can't hurt a fly. And that looks like a sign of weakness. I was never designed. My assignment is to help people. It's not to bring people down. That's what I'm called to. My assignment is never to put anybody down. If I can't help you, I will leave you in your worst. But I can't add to your problem. I will never do that. By the time I finished talking to him, he said, yes. That was already hell. I said, you have to think again if you think I hurt you. I said, I don't go to bed. In my life, never crossed my mind to go to bed. I think, some people cannot sleep. They're thinking how they will take revenge. When people are sleeping, some people are thinking 24/7 how, what you said to them, how if they meet you, that's why they go tired, they wake up tired. How can you go to bed thinking, okay, if I see Raf, you're just thinking of how I'm going to deal with him. How can you sleep? Your heart, then when you see Raf, your heart starts beating faster. Certain hormones that are not supposed to be released are released in your body. Because you are frightened, because you see somebody. Relationship. I can go on and tell you the value of relationship. You and God. If you ever have downplayed your walk with God, please look again. I stumbled into one verse. The only person I know in this life that said he will never leave you nor forsake you is God. To me, that is the most powerful verse in the Bible. You can see other Bible, but that's the most powerful verse. I will never forsake you. I will never leave you nor forsake you. And if a man can tell me that, I'm going to glue to that man. No. I'm going to glue to that man. Is it okay to talk like this? Number 2, your relationship and your pastor. You and your pastor. Very important. I flogged that last Sunday and last Wednesday. And I started something on Wednesday. The relationship between you, husband and wife. Now I need you, Fred. Betty, I need you. Can you come up? The relationship between husband and wife. You and God, you and your pastor. You better have a relationship with your pastor, please. Better have a relationship with your pastor. It's an error to be part of a church and then your pastor doesn't know you. Get involved. That's how you get planted in a local assembly. Relation between husband and wife. If you go to every wedding you attend, this is the verse that we read. Ephesians 5:21-33. Let's look at it. The relation between husband and wife. Every wedding you attend, they must read this verse. Ephesians, please. Look me to help me. Let me lay some foundation. Ephesians 5. Some people will jump verse 21, 5:21. Some people don't like to read verse 21. They start from verse 22. But to get the text, you have to start from verse 21. And let me give you Let me give you a background, please. The book of Ephesians is not written to babies. It's written to faithful Christians. Christians who are faithful. From chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, it tells you about the wealth of the believer. Chapter 4, chapter 5, it tells you about the work of the believer. It says the believer should, if you are truly a Christian, you should walk in unity. Paul even was begging, he said, I beseech you. You can't say you are a Christian, you are anointed, and you are causing division among the brethren. He said, walk in unity. Walk in light. When you walk in the light of God's word, there are things God opens your eyes to see. Walk in unity. Walk in light. Work in wisdom. And work in holiness. When he gets to walk in wisdom, that's when he starts talking about the relationship between husband and wife. And he starts talking about, it takes, marriage is not about how many degrees you have or how much money you have. It's how wise you are. All the weddings that take place in Hollywood, all the superstars in Hollywood, 99% of them are divorced. So if you think it's money, you are thinking it's money, that's why your marriage is not working. You lied. You can have a good marriage without money. Money just spices things. Spicing up. You know, spicing up. You know, it spices things. But that's not what makes marriage. Just add color to it. Place is quiet. I've seen a wedding took place in Nigeria. One of the presidents of this country got married. His daughter got married. They had close to about 20-something cars. The wedding lasts 6 months. 6 months. So, you know, somebody came to my office, was telling Pastor Joe, I was impressed. A general, I'm going to join his daughter. He said, Pastor Ban is the only one that will join my daughter. Passed through this church. Called me like 4 months ago. My daughter is getting married. Pastor Ban, you're part of our family. No pastor is going to join my daughter, it's you. I said, no problem, talk with Pastor Joe. He gave me his daughter's number and her husband. They're all married and working in London. I said, talk to Pastor Joe. They've gone through premarital classes. They have money. Money is not the issue. The man traveled last week to have an appointment with me. He said, don't mind those children. When I asked them, how is this? He said, everything is taken care of. Food is taken care of. Hall is taken care of. They say, you know what they call them? What do you call these guys? Event planner. The man don't understand. A general. He said, no. He told them 2 weeks ago. He said, tell your event planner to meet me. I want to see the venue. I want to know where my pastor will sit. I want to know where my pastor will. You can't play with that man I'm going to bring. Don't play with my pastor. The man went and did Reiki. They are in London. You know what? They have given money for everything. They said, Daddy, you worry too much. He said, no. I want to see your event planner. He said, and I booked an appointment for 1 noon. I didn't want to go in the morning. He said, I allowed the sun to be high so that, yes. They said it's a garden wedding. He said, I wanted the sun to be high. So when I said, where are the ministers? He said, how can you, this is sun. How can you put a man of God here? He turned everything upside down. You see, he said, you spend more money on the thing that is not important and the very same thing that is very spiritual. You treat with levity. This is quiet. I'm telling you, it's no money. There are people in the village that are married. They don't have money. I'm telling you, they're happy. They are the envy of the village. Those Indian movie I'm watching, some of those people, some of those boys that those guys married, they're village boys. The love is in the village. Oh, you're laughing. This is quiet. If you cannot manage relationships, it's because you're not wise. This is what Paul said. Let's do this. Submitting to one another in the fear of God. That's what he said. I said on Wednesday, if a 60-year-old man marries a 25-year-old lady, by virtue of the marriage covenant, the marriage elevates the 25-year-old to be at the same level with the man. But she will be silly to think that she's the leader. I don't really understand. God does not put something and not put order. day you ever say you and Pastor Ban are the same, you are the pastor of this church, you know that even angels, the angels will fight you. Because they never call you to the pastor of this church. Hello. Hello. Everything they do, they point at one man. You have to be secured in yourself to give your pulpit to anybody. Some people will never give you their pulpit, the pastor of the church. They determine what happened. It takes a man who is secured in himself to bring other people and give them the platform. Because there are people, you give them the platform, they will be doing something else. This is quiet. That's why you hear lead pastor, senior pastor. It's drum. They drum it 24/7. Submitting yourself. You know why you submit? The word submit is very powerful. When you hear the word, it's the Greek word. It sounds like bashama. It's hupotasso. The word is hupotasso. Did you? Is there a word like that? Hupotasso. Any word like that in bashama? If your bashama is strong, I wish your mother was here. You're not. Your bashama is. That's the word. That's the Greek word to submit. People hate that word. This word submission, people hate it. Hear me very well. It's a very nice word, beautiful word. The problem is your mindset. Is your mindset about the word. The word hupotasso is voluntarily placement of oneself under the authority and the leadership of another. The day you decide you're going to marry a person, what you are saying is that you're going to follow his leadership. And hear me very well. Marry anybody that you cannot submit to. Let me say it again. Don't marry anybody that you don't trust his leadership.